GT Divide Podcast coming to you episode number 2 of my 5-part hitter. Let's go. So we kind of talked about part one, what it looks like, what it feels like. Um, Now that you've gotten to the other side, so now you're not on side one, you're on side two. Some things to look out for. Those are things is that your friends can look out for in your friends. If your friends are feeling a certain way, or if you see them acting a certain way that's different than what's normal, then you can actually start to see, okay, there might be a problem here. And you can reach out because sometimes a friend will notice a difference in a person and they'll be the one to actually reach out and say, hey, you know, I noticed something different in you. Let me talk to you. Because a lot of times people that are isolated like this, they feel like they have no one because of the situation that they were in. And so they don't like to reach out. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to put their problems on somebody else. So they just kind of like internalize everything and they go through their own battle personally, not knowing that there's people out here that'll help go through the battle with them. And so the second thing that will happen, so now you've stepped out, you've walked away. God is restoring your self worth and and your identity in Him. Now He will show you that He is actually the center of all things, not the person that abused you, but God Himself is the center of all things. Now, like I said in the prior episode, this person wants to be the center of your universe. If you don't make them the center of your universe, they will torment and terrorize you because that's what they want to be. That's their goal. Um, there was some love lost, some love missing from their childhood, is what typically what therapists say is it happens in childhood. So it's like a kid being wrapped up inside of an adult body. Um, I see it a little bit different. Um, I think that there's an element of demonic evil involved there because at the end of the day, I feel like a kid wouldn't terrorize people like these people do. I don't see a kid doing that. And so there's an element of evil that is entrenched in a lot of these disorders that I believe personally. Um, I mean, I can tell you from experience. And so you have to be careful because I mean, they say it's a cycle and you just go through the cycle over and over and over again until you get wise enough and you're like, man, I'm out of here. And so a lot of times people, when they get to the other side, now you're on the other side, so now you have to rebuild because like they break you down because they want you to be like them. They want you to feel what they felt. So they ruin their life. Now they got to ruin your life too. And in their ruining or attempting to ruin your life, if they don't ruin your life, number one, if they don't ruin your life, you have won the race. If you're able to walk out of there, yes, you'll be scarred. Yes, you'll have to go through some growth, some personal growth. But if you're able to walk out of there and you didn't ruin everything, they didn't like you didn't do what they wanted you to do, right? And you got out of there, they couldn't completely ruin you. Be careful because they will probably try to come back and finish the job. Okay. So you have to be careful and you have to understand your self worth. Don't even give them the time of day. Once you see what a person is, allow that to be the truth. All right. So now we're going to talk about God will show you, right, that He is the center of all things. We know what God did to a narcissist, Jezebel. Uh, what happened to her? I mean, she had the most gruesome death in the Bible. Karma will happen to these people. It's not our job to make the karma happen. Our job is to heal ourselves so that we don't become that, so that we don't go out there and harm people. And our other job is to make sure that people are aware that people like this exist. So that way, if they get into a bind with somebody like this, there's videos out there, there's people out there that have been there, done that, and they can take solace in, okay, these people have been there, these people have done that. So now I understand, right? I understand what it takes because these people have gone through it. Wisdom to me, and people all have their own opinion on what wisdom is, but I believe that wisdom is when you can take another person's experience and learn from them. You don't have to go down that road all the way to the back. You may be in it a little bit. You may have started the race a little bit, or the negativity, or whatever it may be, but you don't have to finish it, right? In order for you to get where you're trying to go. In order for you to learn a valuable lesson, you don't have to finish and get to the end where you're almost all the way broken. You just might get a little bit broken and then you start to rebuild and you start to fix things back up. And so that's where I think wisdom comes from. Wisdom to me, that's where it comes from. It comes from learning from other people's experience because people will give you wisdom based on their experiences. You don't have to go through and face all the trials and tribulations that this person did because they went through it so that they can give you the wisdom. And so that's what wisdom is. And so let's talk about it here. So Isaiah 42:6-9 teaches us, it says, I am the Lord, I have called you in righteousness. So the Lord has called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you. He will literally take you by the hand and keep you. And when the Lord says that he will take you by the hand and keep you, he is not playing. I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light for the nations. And this is what they hate. The light that you have shining, they hate that light. They want to put that light out. But what they don't realize is, as a Christian, if you're a narcissist or you got some type of disorder and you're trying to put a Christian's light out, you messing with God, and you want to be careful when you're messing with God. So to open eyes that are blind, because people are blinded. So this is you can be a light in other people's life that may be dealing with some of these same things. A light that, because some people are blind to it, they may not know, right? And it's to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon, from the prison, those who sit in darkness. I am the Lord, that is my name. My glory I give to no other, nor my praise to carved idols. Behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things I now declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you them. And so in darkness, you are the light, right? And so you have to understand that he is the center of the center of the universe. And if you put him as the center of your life, he will bring you out. Let's talk about him bringing you out. Let's talk about Peter. Um, he sends them off. They get on a boat, right? And this is in Matthews 14:22-33. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys can read it, but Jesus walks on water. So essentially, he sent the disciples out on a boat, right? So he's like, go ahead of him because he's going to dismiss the crowd. Like the Lord Jesus is dismissing the crowd. Um, and so they're out there. And so uh, it got so they got out in the middle of the water, and uh, waters got a little rough, got a little turbulent, right? Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. Jesus said immediately to them, take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Peter says, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. Jesus said, come. Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. Cried out, Lord, save me. Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You have little faith, he said. Why do you doubt? And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. And so even in the situation where Peter is coming out of, think of Peter, he's coming out of a situation. So if you've come out of a situation now, right, you can still sink, right? And so the Lord has called you out. He has literally grabbed you out of the water, called you out. And now the goal is to trust in him. If he's the center of the universe, if he's the center of your universe, it makes it hard for you to go back or to allow back in. And then the healing process can begin. Because God was there when Elijah needed it, when he was going through his mental health battle, because he had went through some mental abuse, right? Some manipulation, some scare tactics by Jezebel, by Queen Jezebel. So he went through that, and God delivered him because the whole time God was there. And so when they say no weapon formed against me shall prosper, it's not a joke. Narcissism ain't gonna prosper, neither is any of the other disorders. When it comes against a man of God or a woman of God, it will not prosper. So God has called us to righteousness, right? He's got a plan for us. So his covenant is that we're meant to help others see the truth and be set free from bondage. Because at the end of the day, that's essentially what it is. And so you give the valuable advice to people that are going through these things, and when you see the signs or if they reach out, give them the truth. Because at the end of the day, the truth will set you free and break those chains, because that's what it is. Once you realize what it is that you're dealing with, right? It makes it easier for you to be able to overcome. Wisdom. And then you have to also understand that a narcissist or bipolar, not bi- but borderline personality persons, their abuse on you was not really about you. It was about their desire to be God and take the glory for themselves. And remember, God will heal you and set you free by reclaiming his rightful place as the one true Lord of your life, who deserves all the glory of your life. So now you've taken control of your life and you're putting God where he's supposed to be, and he will heal you. Personal experience. He will 100% heal you. Having dealt with one, it is, you don't feel alive. Um, you're numb to everything. Makes it hard to feel. Like you just don't feel anymore. Um, you question yourself. I found myself asking my therapist if I myself was a narcissist, saying I need to take the test. Asking if he thinks that I have borderline personality disorder. And so as I found myself in these places, I've questioned myself, and that's when you know that your self-worth has come down. And so I'm questioning myself, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what the heck is wrong? What's going on? Lost would be a word that I would definitely use to describe myself in the situation coming out. Lost. And so I think what helped me the most in my experience, and I'm gonna give you this wisdom here because this is this wisdom podcast, wisdom with GT. And so I'm gonna give you this wisdom here. What helped me the most, right, is realizing that I did not need that in my life. That there's better things to be placed in your life other than that. And so chasing God helped me be able to overcome and hold strength. Because at the end of the day, they can try and come back all they want to, but you have taken back control of your life. And I will say, but based on my experience, God ripped me out the water, drowning in a lake that I didn't know how to swim. Because most people, this is a situation where you don't know how to swim. You don't understand what it is that you're dealing with, who it is that you're dealing with. You don't know what, you have no clue. And so I started to get educated, and started to really look back on some things, make some things that didn't make sense, and I was questioning. Now I look back on it, I'm like, man, it makes sense now. And so as it's made more sense and more sense has been made of everything, as I continue my journey with the Lord, I realized that the Lord was there all the time, telling me. There was always something telling me, hey, something's off. Um, Listen to your body. My body was telling me things were off, and I was not paying attention. And so listen to your body. Your body will tell you if somebody has bad intentions for you. All right. And so that's my experience. That's from me personally. My experience with it is that I found that um, you have to put God first. As a Christian, you have to put God first, because if God isn't first, you're first. And if you're first, you end up with people like that, right? Because God said he will protect your hearts and your mind. He said that, right? And he will protect it in ways that you couldn't even fathom. Like the spiritual warfare that's going on out here, you don't even know what's going on. And he is protecting your heart, your spirit, your mind, your soul. He's protecting it all. Once I figured that out, it helped me be able to um, continue to grow, become a better version of myself, which is the key. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to go back to the person that you were when you got yourself in a bad situation. You want to keep pushing and keep moving. Do I hate the individual? No. There will never be hate. God taught me that vengeance is his. So I don't need to get back at anybody. My get back, your get back as a survivor is literally bettering yourself. You better yourself, then that's your only get back. Because guess what? You get a basket of glory of growth. right? Because growth is extremely important. And so when you're basking in the glory of growth and you kind of get to live that growth mindset, that growth life, it's a great thing. It literally is a great thing. And so that's what I pray for you guys is that if you're going through it, if you've been through it, if you're in a relationship right now with somebody you believe that you start to feel these things, you're mentally drained, you're stressed out, you're questioning everything. They make you question everything because they make you question your reality, not their reality is always true, but they make you question your own reality. So if you're questioning your own reality, my friends, there's a problem, right? It's gaslighting, is what it is. They make you question everything. Like you can remember saying something and they'll tell you that you never said it. But they said everything that they said, but they don't show you the same grace. And it's not even really grace, but I'm gonna use that word, but they don't show you the same grace that they show themselves. If a person can't give you the same grace that they give to themselves, ask some questions, something's up, right? And so I hope that you guys continue to vibe, continue to rock. We got a couple more coming out. So we give you the first 2 points. There's three more to go. We're gonna hit them all, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna have some conversations. I will talk about my experience personally, things that I've gone through, things that I witnessed, and then I will continue to push for you guys. This GT the Vibe podcast again. I'm out.